Hi, welcome back to Embers and Ash. My name's Josh, if you didn't know. In this video, we're going to be discussing fatherhood. You've got some Q's, I've got some A's, and I got a baby. Let's do this.
First question, favorite dad joke? We can come back to it.
Give me a sec. I was thinking on this. I had a good one. Now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of a single dad joke. I crack them all day long.
Do you want to end on favorite dad joke?
Well, I don't know if my brain's really gonna think of one. I guess this is all dead air, so we'll come back to the dad joke. We can edit it in at the end,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
We'll do it in post.
Okay, the dad joke in post.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Did you feel ready when you decided to try for a baby?
Yes, in a large part of a way. No one really ever, I think, can prepare themselves for fatherhood, but what are you gonna do, not have kids? I think I was ready to take the risk on whether I was ready.
Nice.
And it worked out.
Did you feel an immediate bonding with Rook, or did it take time?
That's interesting. When I was handed Rook in the hospital for the first time, I looked at him and he was kind of doing one of these glazed over looks as a newborn does. And I thought to myself, what child is this? Like, who are you? He looked very alien and foreign to me, but that went away within a week. After a week at home, watching him develop his facial characteristics, like I felt a bond to him immediately, after we got him home.
Mm-hmm. What is the most impactful way you've supported Ashley during postpartum recovery?
That's a tough question. I don't know, support takes a different shape depending on the day. If Ash is having an emotionally hard day, I try to take the load off with evening duties such as cleaning and cooking, taking Rook, letting her have a nap if she needs it. It's really about load sharing.
Do you feel like a different person since having Rook?
Do I feel like a different person since having Rook? In some ways, I feel a greater responsibility to make good decisions because I now am in charge of a little life and soon a observing copycat of a child. And so choosing things that have better outcomes.
Okay, I think that's good.
There's something in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could
We got more questions. We got a lot of questions.
We'll handle it in post.
Yeah. How have you seen Ashley change since becoming a mom, as a person and relationship-wise?
Very cold now. She's hella more maternal. She's always like, gotta take care of that baby.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. She's cooked more. She's learning to cook, which is awesome. How has she changed? Well, we're both more tired, so we really had to fine-tune the way that we interact and connect with one another because the time is gone. By the time Rook's getting his food, he's got a diaper change, you're playing with him, you're setting him down for a nap or bedtime, you're now in okay, now it's regular task time. We gotta clean the house, we gotta get the laundry folded, I gotta make lunches for the week. And it's almost like you're in a bit of a very, very tightly scheduled, like the free time you have when Rook is sleeping or napping or entertaining himself, you got to get stuff done around the house. So we have had to kind of fine tune the way we do our dating life, if you want to call it that, like making time for one another. Whether that's just like scheduling out watching a movie in the evening after Rook's down or playing a game of cards or baking together, which Ash is not huge into.
Okay. Are you ready for this one, Josh?
Yeah.
What type of anxieties did you have as birth neared? What helped?
So I was a damn hot mess on the day of Rook's birth. Okay. So I've thought a lot about this one. Stressor number one. I did not sleep enough, and when you are, or at least when I am, low level of sleep equals a high level of stress. My body is just physically not able to process and deal with stuff properly, so I just end up getting stomach sickness because I'm just anxious. And so right away at the hospital at 5 in the morning, I'm already running on no sleep, panicked because my wife is going into labor, and we're just waiting to see if we can get into the hospital. So that was rough. And then eating something. Make sure you bring food to the hospital And like, don't force feed yourself, but make sure you are intentionally hitting those meal spots, because your body needs it so bad when you're running on high energy, high stress like that. Honestly, being able to move, walk around, and walk with Ashley was good, just because it kept your brain entertained and you were doing something and you felt like you could do something to help. But at the end of the day, I think men in general who have a care for people, they struggle a lot when they are in a stressful situation and can't do anything to fix it. And when your wife's going into labor, you are on the sidelines and the doctors are taking over, and you just got to trust that your wife knows what she's doing. Her body will do this, and you just need to be there emotionally for her. And yeah, food and sleep are massive. Bring food to the hospital.
Best and least favorite memory of labor and delivery. I know it was really stressful for you.
The best part of it is, I think you even have it on video. Ash turned and looked at me and said, "We have a son."
No, Josh, you said that to me.
You said it afterwards back to me.
Oh, right.
That's when it impacted. Oh yeah, because I told you we had a son, but then when you looked at me and you had tears in your eyes and you just had such a peace and a glow to you, and you said, "Josh, we have a son," that's when the whole thing sunk in. It's like, okay, I'm a dad.
And we know what the gender is.
And we know the gender. This is real. And now you're just formulating your life trajectory of, okay, son activities, father and son activities. What we gonna do? How are we gonna raise this boy? And your brain goes into overload. But yeah, that was the best part was just finding out, hey, we're meeting Rook. So my hardest part in the delivery room was Ash was all hopped up on the good stuff. And so she was just like, okay, we're doing this. Like, I'm gonna push and we're getting through it. And the doctors were kind of chattering amongst themselves like, oh, I don't have a very strong heartbeat. Ashley's temperature is going up. And Ash didn't seem to click in because she was just very focused in the moment. So I took on that stress of, oh man, why are the doctors asking so many questions? Is something going wrong? Yeah, buddy. So it was a bit rough because I don't know if Ash has talked about it. She probably has in one of her videos. They couldn't get an accurate read on little Rook's heartbeat. So they put a probe onto his noggin. They screwed a little boop in there so that they could monitor his heartbeat, and then they controlled Ashley's temperature so that he didn't come out at too high of a temperature. That was the most stressful part, is just kind of being able to observe it from outside, because I'm not involved in this. Like, I can't do anything in this situation, but just listening to the dialogue between the doctors about potential issues.
What's something you look forward to doing with Rook once he's older?
Oh man, okay, so many things. I want to teach him the world. Camping is massive. Obviously fishing when he's a little bit older. I want to teach him how to create and to build and to express himself in useful crafts. Being outdoors, working with your hands.
Best tips to help her while breastfeeding.
Best breast tips to help her when breastfeeding.
You would get my hot gun.
Oh, yeah, retrieve what she needs. If she needs something to catch the letdown, don't let her down. If she needs a spit up cloth from the other room, you get that. If you get a massive blowout from your boy when he's feeding, you fix it. You just be there. Your job is support, no matter what that looks like.
Okay, this is a good one. Not fatherhood related, but do you play Dungeons and Dragons?
No, okay.
Why are you pausing? It's a solid yes.
I do not play Dungeons and Dragons. I play various other role-playing games with my friends under normal circumstances. Right now, we're not. We're playing Rollmaster, which is the RMU, which was revamped in 2017. It's a system based out of the 1980s, if I recall correctly, and it got significantly better.
You're such a nerd.
Yeah, creative storytelling, that's what it is.
But you do play Dungeons and Dragons if the opportunity comes up.
Nah.
Yes, you do.
Alright, I play role-playing games. Tabletop role-playing games are what me and my friends enjoy doing.
Nice. What's your favorite thing to do with Rook?
Right now, it's kind of like just hanging out, whatever that looks like, because he is quite limited in his understanding of the world. And so I think as he grows up, our activities will change and we probably will have a favorite activity, but I honestly just enjoy being with him. Sometimes when he passes out on me, it's the most wonderful thing. Like, I'd rather be nowhere else in the world, you know? Like, it's just, this is good. Even right now, I just love that he's a content little guy sitting on my lap, chewing on my thumb, instead of his cool toy that's way better.
Do you experience anxiety when Rook cries? If so, how do you manage it?
Yes, I do experience anxiety when Rook cries because I don't know how to respond to what he needs because he can't tell me. He's just crying. It could be a number of things. Pro tip, babies are very durable and they have different pitches of scream when there's something actually wrong and when they're just fussing because they don't want to go to sleep. So it was way worse when I was very new to fatherhood, but it's gotten easier and easier just because I know he is well taken care of. You start to trust your baby, that he's breathing, he's swallowing, he's not suffocating himself, you know, like they're durable.
Okay, I interpret this as you will.
Okay.
When did you get that heart face emoji baby, heart face emoji feeling?
What's the baby feeling?
I don't know.
Okay, when did I get that baby feeling? That's a hard one to interpret. Here's what we're gonna answer with. When did I get that baby feeling? Like, I wanted a baby?
Yeah, I guess so.
I wanted a baby with Ash very early. I knew that it would just be timing. Yeah, even in our dating relationship, I was like, damn, this girl's gonna make a good mom. But yeah, I don't really understand how to answer that question, so we're gonna leave it as I've wanted a baby for quite some time.
What are your top 3 tips for being a new dad, and what are some things you didn't expect? So that's a 2-for-1.
Top 3 tips for being a dad, a first-time dad, a new dad. Okay, eat, pray, love. I'd have to probably boil it down to that. Trust your partner. Yeah, develop a diet that is healthy so that you are charged up with the right energy you need, and make sure you sleep. Again, it all comes down to sleep. You just gotta sleep, eat, and be okay, massive oversight. Be present. You get one shot. You get one shot at the new weeks, and your baby might not remember it, but you're gonna want to remember it.
What are some things you didn't expect?
Some things I did not expect. I didn't expect to be sleeping through the night. At this stage, I thought that we were going to be up and tired for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
Maybe we are just fortunate enough to have a baby that is sleeping 6 hours. That's pretty good.
Since 5 weeks.
Yeah.
How's the experience of fatherhood been so far? How has it changed you as a person? Did I already?
I think we kind of had this, but
Okay,
how it's changed me as an individual. I have a sense of duty that I didn't have before. Getting out of bed in the morning is easier because I know that I am providing now for a family. Going to work, some days it's not so nice. He helps me get out of bed in the morning, and it's cool to know that I am kind of paving the way for his life, setting him up for his life.
What has been the hardest part?
Hardest part of this is, it's not even freedoms. Honestly, leaving in the morning, also having to go to work and just miss out on this little guy's day-to-day stuff. I wish I could stay home and be with him because, once again, you only get one shot at this portion of their life, right?
Is it as hard as you thought it would be?
It's easier than I thought it would be. I always build things up in my head to be an unconquerable thing so that when I get to it, all my skills are already ready, out and raring to go, and then I also can be happy when it's easier than I expected it to be.
Did you feel connected to Rook when Ash was pregnant, or did the connection come after birth?
It was really hard to connect with something I couldn't see, but I did feel a massive connection with Rook while he was still in Ash's tummy. Being able to feel him kick and feel his little hiccups and know that he was swimming around in there. He was a person, and it was more just the anticipation of meeting him face to face that was the connection.
How much time do you spend with Rook every day, and what are your duties?
So on a typical day when I'm going to work, sometimes if he's sleeping well and he gets up at 7 o'clock, then I can spend about 40 minutes, give or take, in the morning with him in bed, just cuddling. Ash will bring him to me after the feed. And then when I get home from work, I have a quick shower, hang out with Rook for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending when his bedtime is, and then usually get dinner going or whatever. Work week, maybe 3 hours I get to spend with him.
And that's just because of his bedtime.
And that's just because of his current bedtime. And then weekends, all day.
What are your duties?
My duties. That's hard to answer because I don't feel like we separate them very much.
We both just do
Our
it.
duty as a married couple is to provide the best we can for Rook, and whatever that looks like. We both change diapers when we're doing it. We both clean up the messes. We both do laundry. We both cook. We both clean. Family is a unit. Yeah.
Okay, how are you coping with a redirection of love and affection with Rook?
Right now, Rook needs a lot of love and attention, and so we don't connect on that level as much as we used to, but it is a finite thing. He needs both of our love investment right now, if you will, so time investment. But we're making sure not to lose sight of one another in this. We still very much prioritize each other. I just understand this is part of the game. You know, you gotta go raise a little one.
Okay, this person asked from my husband, do you ever get personal time back?
That is very subjective to the individual and individual's lifestyle and activities that you've chosen. So, for example, when we're not in lockdown, I have a once a week game night with my group of buddies. We've done it for the last 10 years, and when me and Ash started dating, she knew that was kind of part of the schedule. And how it's changed for my personal freedoms is I just want to be home more. Like, I don't miss the freedoms because I have a duty at home. Does that make sense?
But you still do your...
But I still do my weekly gaming, and if I need to do a woodworking project or something, Ash is a very capable mom and she can handle Rook for an evening. I just feel like I'm missing out when I'm away from my family. Like if I have an evening class or something for work, I am gone until 9 p.m. and I miss Rook's bedtime and it sucks.
Is being at work harder now that you have a little one at home, or does that help drive you?
That's a bit of both, and I think we've probably already touched on it, but I'll surmise it really quick. Yes, it's hard being at work, but it's also the thing that motivates me to do well at my job.
How did you feel when you found out you were going to be a dad?
I cried. Like, that was such good news. Ash and I struggled for a little bit there. It took a while to get a positive pregnancy test. So the news of it, Ash comes running into the bedroom in the morning because she's getting up for work and says, "Hey, we're having a baby." And my heart was just overjoyed, and still is. Like, I'm so excited that we have little Rook.
Did you at any point after the baby was born feel neglected by your wife? Did you feel as if she was pushing you away as your partner?
So yes, in a very selfish sense, if I just looked at it from my personal feelings alone. But that being said, if you are having a child, you're going to expect that you're going to have to reprioritize some of your emotional energy. And so it was an expected neglection. And it's necessary. He needs more attention than I do. So I just need to be the most supportive and involved that I can be to try to make the relationship stronger. Did that make sense? Was that fluid? Okay.
How much say do you have in naming Rook?
100% of it, I think. I came up with the name. I don't even really remember how it came to my brain. I came home one day and I was like, "Ash, what do you think of Rook?" And she said, "Let me think on it." And the next day, I think it didn't take long.
Sold, yeah.
It didn't take long. You were really into it the next day.
Parenthood is amazing and babies are adorable, but what's your least favorite thing as a father?
That's tough. Sometimes when he doesn't settle down, I feel useless. Like I can't fix something, that I don't understand his needs. So that's a little bit tough. Not from my personal experience, but a lot of my friends who are fathers as well say this, that they just feel useless for the first 10 months because they aren't what the baby wants. Number one in baby's mind is mom, and you come second along with everyone else.
Did you always want to be a dad? When did you first feel like a dad to Rook?
I did not always want to be a dad. Most of my life I grew up with the idea of parenthood was a thing of the past because the world was going to crap. I thought this until I was 23 years old, where I just did not want to be a father. And I think that's primarily because I had a extremely poor example of what a father was growing up. So I just didn't want to continue the onslaught of bad fathering. It was in my mid-20s that I realized that, you know, people set their own course in life and you are responsible for your own decisions. And at that point, my mentality switched to I do want to have a child and I want to be a father. That's right, dude. It was easier when I met Ash, honestly. She screams maternity.
Have you had a favorite month or stage so far?
My favorite stage is always the stage I'm in. It's been so good in every age category that he's had so far, and each of them have their own highlights. Like right now, I love that he's just so content hanging out with you. He wants to wiggle, and it seems like he wants you to watch him experience life. Like when he's jumping in the Jolly Jumper or something, he's kind of bummed if you're not watching him, and then as soon as you're looking at him, he goes crazy and he's like, yeah, this is how good I am at jumping.
Yeah.
The newborn stage was unreal as well, when he'd fall asleep in your arms and you're holding such a precious, delicate human, and you're responsible for that, you know.
Okay, well, we got a
Favorite dad joke.
Oh yeah, do you have it?
No.
No dad joke?
I honestly have so many dad jokes and I can't. Like, what's big and white and can't climb trees? A refrigerator? Is that a dad joke? What? Okay, sorry. Yeah, I got another one too. What's green and fuzzy and has 4 legs, and if it fell out of a tree on you, it would kill you? A pool table.
That's a terrible joke.
These are great jokes. Why can't you run in a campground? You can only ran because it's past tense.
That's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll go with that.
Cool. Okay, we got a very sleepy boy. You want to finish off the video?
This has been Q's and A's with your boy Josh on Embers and Ash. Thanks for checking us out. And by us, I mean this guy.
He's like so sleepy.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks for supporting this channel and supporting my wife. This is our cute boy. I'm going to put him to bed. See you in the next one. Is that what you do?
Yeah, say bye.
Bye.